Hey everybody, it's Kevin Purvis and I'm the head coach here at Austin 4 Points. And this month I wanted to talk in the Coach's Corner a little bit around rowing, and some of the things that you've seen coming around lately are a little bit different, especially what you're seeing on the rowing screen. For the first few months that we were together, we worked on wattage, and that's the way that we could tell how much effort you were putting forth. And lately you've seen that we've changed it up a little bit. Some days we're doing miles per hour now. And some days, like today, we're doing a split time. It's a 500-meter split time, so I wanted to do a little coaching around that. I know there's been some resistance about changing because you've been so used to using wattage as your pacer, but I want you to know that getting used to using these different ways and learning how to find your base pace at a split time and your base pace at miles per hour only enhances your ability to pace yourself through those longer rows that you'll be seeing. So, just a little patience from you, and Ricky's here. He's going to help me a little bit, and then we're going to kind of coach you through what you'll see on that screen whenever we take you into wattage. We'll start with wattage as we have been doing. Then I'll take you into split times, and then we'll talk a little bit about miles per hour. All right, so here we are. I've got Ricky rowing for us. You'll see his hand come in. That's all the screen time that I'm going to give him. Maybe he can work into some facial screen time at some point in the future, but not just yet. He has to prove himself. Looking at the top right-hand corner of the rowing screen, you'll see we're at wattage. He's rowing at about 190. For him, that's probably his base pace row, somewhere around body weight we're looking at for that base pace row. It may take you a little time if you're new to Orangetheory to build up to that. That's okay. I always make a joke about doing the body weight that's on your driver's license or finding a neighbor and doing their body weight. As he goes up higher, you see he's getting up closer to the 200 mark. When we take you to that base pace, you're gonna match your number that's on your wattage up to the screen when you look at your heart rate screen. And you'll see that when your heart rate gets into that green zone, that's your base pace wattage. When we take you to a push pace, we're gonna ask you to add about 30 to 50 points onto that. And then when we go to an all-out row, we're going to take it to a maximum wattage and get that number as high up as you possibly can, knowing that we'll give you a recovery after that. All right, next up, we're looking at split time. Notice that I chose Ricky to row instead of vice versa. I have to use these young guys because they have so much energy in them. So we're looking at split time now. That split time represents how long it's going to take you to get to 500 meters. So we're looking typically for a split time somewhere between 1:30 and 2:30. If you can get below that 2-minute mark for your split time, you know that's a good pace. Once again, when we first come into class or when you start into a longer row, you can find the green zone, that heart rate that represents base pace, and it's 71 to 83% of your heart rate max, and you match that up with your split time. Whenever we go into push pace, you're going to put a little more heat underneath it, and the harder you row, the lower that number goes. You see Ricky's now getting a little bit closer to that 130 mark, and if he were to row a consistent 130 and pace himself through that whole time, it would only take him 1 minute and 30 seconds to get to that 500-meter mark. All right, and last for you, we've got miles per hour. Miles per hour, personally, is the one that works the best with my brain since we're so used to working on the treadmill and paying attention to what our miles per hour is over there. Once you get to the rower, typically you'll be rowing between 7 and 10 miles per hour. Some of you who are a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit younger like Ricky here, you're going to go above that 10-mile-an-hour mark, hitting closer to 11 miles per hour when you're at base pace. Just like we do on the treadmills, you're going to find that base pace that keeps your heart rate in the green zone, 71 to 83%. You'll stay steady at that base pace. This will help you pace yourself through the row. When we go into push pace on the rowers, you're going to add 1 to 2 miles an hour over your base pace. When we go to an all-out on the rower, you're going to go at least 2 miles an hour over your base pace and give it an all-out row, knowing that you have that recovery coming at the end of it, right? You'll go back down, even below base pace at that point. All right, so you see how that works. I gather a minion, and get him to do my bidding for me. We even had to give Ricky a short second to let his heart rate come back down because it sounded a little bit weird to have him breathing so heavy in that video. So aside from that, hopefully these tips will help you when we change up from wattage to miles per hour to split time, back to miles per hour, back to wattage. Certainly you can ask any of the coaches here. You can shoot me an email. My email is headtrainer0236@orangetheoryfitness.com for any more questions. But otherwise, I'll see you in class and we'll work a little bit more on this rowing.